Alright, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, another day, another dollar. Anyway, we're continuing our build of the F-22 Raptor by Italeri. This is what now, part 5, I think? Where are we now? We are here. So, you already know that I did the light gray color and outline that. And then I decided I'm going to be using the Tamiya's AS7 neutral gray for the main body color of this thing. And so I spent a good hour or so doing all the masking to get all our little accents all the way around it like it's supposed to have on the top and the bottom. Okay, and so that's, oh, you know what, I have yet to take off my masking tape, so you get to watch me do that today. Wow, I painted it and then I didn't remove the masking tape. So the bottom of these things, it's a little bit unique in how they have the markings because it's totally opposite of the top side, which you will see right now. Just like that. So that's the way the bottoms of these planes are. So I'll take this one off. Didn't realize I forgotten to take my masking tape off on the bottom. That's okay though. It's fun, you get to see this. Today we're going to be doing the camouflage on the top side. And so you're going to get to see that and how I go about doing that. So there's no camouflage on the bottom of the plane. This is just how it is, like that. Okay. There's some little paints like these little diamond shapes. These are a super dark gray. I'm going to do a panel line wash in there to get those colors. But that's about it for the painting of the bottom of this thing. Okay. So one thing you might notice, if you go online and you're looking at pictures of the Raptors online, you are going to see this particular line here. Oops, I just hit my mouse. Careful. This line here, this actually continues up past here, comes over and then comes down a little bit. Okay. Now this kit doesn't have any panel line doing that. It just ends it right here. Okay. You also notice if you look at pictures of the Raptor, it's got quite a significant little gap here in between this. I guess it's, I don't know if this is actually a flap that will move forward or not, but they've got a big gap here and a big bump on the actual plane, and they don't really have much here on the kit. Okay, so I don't want to just have an imaginary line come up here, and I really didn't feel like scribing my own lines because I'm really terrible at it. So I just left it. I just painted up to here and good enough. Okay, and you get a similar situation here on this front leading edge here. This is supposed to, the color, if you look at the pictures, this comes all the way up to this line. Okay, on the actual aircraft, this goes all the way to here and there, and they have that colored in the light gray. But there's, again, there's no panel line here doing that, but there is one here, so I just left it with that one, and that's, you know what, it's close enough. Close enough for me. So that's where we're at. So we got to do the camouflage. Now, camouflage, what I do is I took a few pieces of paper, I guess 2 pieces of paper, and I literally just laid it down, put the plane down on top, traced around, stop clicking the mouse there, man. Traced around on the paper, and then I drew my pattern. And so now I can line this up, put that on there, and I can spray just like I did with my tail fins. Same thing. Okay. Now, again, obviously you can tell what's already happening is the paper just wants to lay down like this over top, and that's going to create a problem because that's not really going to prevent any overspray. Now, at the same time, I don't want it right touching because then it creates a hard line, and I don't want that either. So I'm going to start by rolling up little pieces of tape to put underneath on here to keep the paper, you know, a good millimeter or so off of the actual model. So grab my masking tape and we'll start getting some pieces here. So they don't have to be huge, just you need something, right? And I don't want it sticky. Well, I kind of do. Maybe I do want it sticky. Sure, let's roll it up on itself here so that it's like double-sided tape in a way. I can get it to actually roll. It doesn't want to roll on itself. There. Okay. So there we go. So just a little roll like that. Okay. Can't see because it won't focus. Here, try this one. Will you focus? Anyway, so I'm just going to do this. Put it here. I don't want it too close to the edge because I don't want the overspray to actually hit it. Okay. So try another one here. Now I must confess, I have never actually done this particular technique before. I've never taken tape and rolled it like that and had it sticky. So this is going to be interesting how this comes out. I find myself actually trying these different techniques that I've never done before because of you guys, because you asked me how I do stuff, and now I'm trying different things to see how it comes out, kind of experimenting. Okay, so before I actually put that touching, I want to make sure that I get this lined up, so I'm just going to put this up against the light, or maybe this light will work. Let's see here. Kind of get it lined up the way I had it. Let's see how I'm sticking it. Stick when I want you to, and that's it. Cooperate with me, please. That doesn't work. I think that's pretty close to what I want. Okay. So now with my little pieces of tape on there, I can squish them down to get this even closer. This one here, I can just put my finger down on to hold it as far away as I want. This I don't like, it's right on the edge. And my wing is pretty much lined up where it's supposed to be. So, I need to put something under here, so I need another piece of tape. Okay, so I'm just going to put it right here. And it raises it up nice. Now this is where it's going to be a bit tricky. I should put a little roll or something underneath there. And of course, if I didn't care about there being a hard line, it wouldn't be an issue at all. But because I don't want a hard line, I don't want it touching. So I have to do something like this to make sure the paper stays up, so I get just a little bit of overspray underneath of it. Okay, so I think we're good like this, and so we're going to spray. So I'm going to choose, I've decided to go with the Gunship Gray 2 by Tamiya, the AS27. And that is the color we're going to use. Check something here real quick. Okay. All right, so I'm going to move this over to my little table, and I will switch my camera for you so you can see. There we go. All right, so once again, I want to do kind of straight down. I don't want to go on too much of an angle on either way or on any way. And I'm just going to do this and put my thumb here. I might spray my thumb accidentally, but that's okay. I want to keep this not too high up. See how that lifts up there? I don't want that. Okay, so we're going to start with this main one. I'm not too heavy-handed on it. I just want to make sure I get coverage, because I really only have one shot at this. So I want a good coat, but at the same time, I got a little bit of overspray on my thumb. But that's okay. So that's that. So now I'm going to lift this up. Now, ideally, you don't touch this until it's dry, because the paper can actually smear on it. Now, it did actually not too bad. So you might be able to see on the camera, maybe on the other camera. Let's bring this over here and we'll switch back. Okay, I don't know if it's picking it up on the camera. You can kind of see where the tape was right in here, because it did actually stop a bit of a hard line. You can see I've got a bit of a hard line right here, which is not too bad. And a little one here. And that's actually just where the tape was, right? So I got two options. I can either put that back down without the tape on it and just hit those two little spots again and get a little bit of overspray, or I can take my cutout that I have from that. That's going to be not this one, not that one, this one. Okay, I can actually put this down on here and spray with this color and do the exact same thing. It's just opposite, right? That's the choices I have. Because this is kind of overspraying onto this, I might actually do that. Just do this and go and just touch up those two little spots, right? And I could do the same here. Just take my pattern for this and there, and then spray. That might actually be a better idea. But I'm going to leave this, I don't want to touch it now for a few minutes and let it kind of set properly, because we have the other side to do. The other side is just like this. This one kind of poses a little bit of a challenge because of this center part. going over this big hump here, right? That's going to be a little bit hard to get this to actually sit properly. A lot of times what I do is I'll do the wings separate from the center, and I'll actually have a separate piece of paper and do the center one on its own, because then I can kind of mold the paper a little bit easier without doing anything with the wing parts. So I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to mask this off, and I will do them separate, do them on their own. So I'm just going to run a piece of tape through there, which is kind of contrary to what I normally do, but I want to make sure that I don't get too much overspray on there. So this is going to be about there, roughly. That should be all right. Okay. And I'm going to do them as separate things, even though it's on the same paper. Now what might happen, of course, is I might get a hard line because of this visible. And that's kind of the tricky thing. Doing this technique is sometimes you have to go back and touch up. I think on when I did I had the 1/48 scale F-15 by Tamiya that I did about 2 years ago. I wound up having to go back on that thing probably 4 times or something like that. So there we go, that's where we're going. Now this one, of course, it doesn't want to stay down here, but it really likes to just sit nice and level here. So let's start working on our little masking tape thingies. Having learned from the other piece, I already know that I want like 4 of these on there. And I kind of don't want them sticking, so I'm going to roll them the other way. There's one there. There. Put one here. This is just preventative measures. I know already there's a lot of spots where it was already lifting on its own. So, but as I hold it in place, I want to make sure it's going to stay lifted up. There. I think we're okay. I don't have to put any here. But just in case. Just in case. This one I will make sticky. Right there. Okay, so let's bring our plane back. This one's not as hard to line up because I know this line here goes almost right against this edge, and I know this here has to go kind of just behind here. So this side is not as hard to line up. As the other side. So that's kind of where we're at there. Come back a little too far. Let's go forward. And then we go this way. And down. There. Okay. And I think we're in our sweet spot. Okay. Now you see this is actually sticking up way too high. So I could benefit from a sticky part there. Just to bring that down. So that I don't have to hold it. So flip this over. Yeah, see, I've got one there, but it's not sticky. So let's just do this right behind it, just to give it a little bit of help. There we go. Another thing you can do is, like, even though I've got that in there, the angle of the paper is bringing the edge down. Well, fortunately, I can bend the paper up just a little bit. And we've got this line right directly on there on this whole edge, and I don't like that. So let's cure that problem. Like so. All right. So we're looking pretty good. Again, I want to hold this down a little bit here once I get to this spot, because that's pretty tall and that's going to get a lot of overspray under there. I want to kind of make sure that I don't go at an angle here, because if I spray at this angle like this, I'll definitely get a hard line where that tape is under there. Okay, and I also don't want to accidentally get any under here, right, and spray way over there. So when I get to this, I want to kind of almost spray at this kind of an angle, almost opposite. So that's where we're at, that's where we're going. Let's take it back over here. Put that there, and we'll switch cameras again. What I can actually do to help myself is actually turn this, change my angle of attack a little bit. So I want to just press that down just a little bit there. And I'm pretty positive that I've got some overspray in areas that I don't want it, but that can be touched up pretty easy. Okay, it's not so bad. So, kind of leave that to kind of dry just a little bit, because I don't want to accidentally touch it. One thing I've done before is I go to pull the paper off and I accidentally drag the paper right over the wet paint and just cause a huge ugly looking streak, and then have to touch it up afterwards, and that's just a pain in the ass. So this little template is pretty much done now, because I'm going to be doing the opposite for touching up. And what I can do for this one now, when I go to do the center, I can just mask the actual paper and do that. So this has now had a second or two to dry. Pick up my little, yeah, so I got a little bit of overspray there that I can see because of the paint, of the tape that was there. This sprayed right to that edge, so I'm pretty sure when I move that, pick that tape up, that is going to be, yeah, and see, one thing you don't even really notice until it's there, you can see just barely a line of overspray there. So, once again, I will be spraying this color again. I just have this piece to put in here now, and that will be it. And it's going to look like this. Right? Now, of course, your choice could have been, you could have done the exact opposite of me and spray painted the dark gray first, and then create these little templates and lay these down, and then spray the lighter gray. And that's really up to you which one you want to do first. I always, you know, I painted a lot of RC car bodies when I was younger, and so I kind of learned you do light colors first, and you put the dark on, and you progressively get darker, right? Because lighter colors don't like to cover dark colors. And so I'm just kind of in that habit. And I know that when it comes to these kinds of paints and models and stuff like that, that's not, you usually get away with painting a lighter color over the dark, and it's not that bad. But I still have that habit, so I like to do lighter colors first, move to a darker color, and then the darker color, and that's just the way I do it. Yeah. Looks like I'm going to have to touch up here too, so I'll have to mask and redo this line. That's not so bad. Looks like a little bit here too. All depends how picky I am. Okay, so this is looking still a little shiny, so it looks like it's still a bit tacky. I don't really want to do much to it. Mind you, this side still looks shiny too, so it's not really tacky. Well, it is a little tacky still. I think I can get away with doing this. So with this, I'm going to actually kind of fold the paper a little bit here, just to help it with its contour. Basically, all I want to do is find the center, and that's where I'm painting. This thing just kind of goes right smack in the middle. Kind of just like that. You can actually use the tape to my advantage to hold that there. But as you can see, look at this, sticking up, right? That's not good. I'm just going to get miles of overspray under there. And then this side, yeah, look at that. That's what makes this center part so difficult to do. Okay? So what I have to do is I'm going to have to pull this up now. And go on each one of these and kind of bend them down. Like this. I find this part, the center, is kind of the most difficult one to do because of just the contour of the plane. So let's get this back there in the middle. Why don't you meet me in the middle? Right about there. Stick that down again. Okay. So that, I'm going to have to do something about that. That spot alone is a bit tricky because it's in between the two engine humps, for lack of a better term. So I think I'm going to do F-22. I want it to stick there, but I want it to behave. So, lift up, flip her over, and this, I can get rid of these. Maybe I can actually utilize these. Not that one. It's a little bit hard to see where the middle is in there. It's right there. Okay. There we go. That's nice. That looks better. Unfortunately, now I've bent those down. I don't want them touching. As I convince the paper to follow the contour, we're pulling her back up. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to put a bunch. We're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4. Little thin guys. That's what we're doing. Now you might be thinking, okay, so if you're going through all this trouble and then you wind up having to spray it again anyway, why bother? Why not just spray a general pattern and then touch it up after? Why go to all this trouble of putting these little things, tape on there? Because the less I have to touch up after, the better. So I want to try and get this as good as I can on the first try. And then worry about touching it up after. Okay, middle here. And as we come down, that's the middle there. Okay. Alright, so I think we've got a decent pattern now. This needs to behave more. If I hold it like that, it might be alright. That might be good, just like that. We'll try it like that, and that's what we're going to go for. Okay, so switch this. And I want to have an easy way to there we go. So, big reveal, right? How did this turn out? Yeah. it turned out okay. So this side's pretty good, not too bad at all. This side, however, needs some touch-up because although it looks pretty good on the camera right here, well, actually it doesn't. There we go. I got too much of a blend in between these two here, so I definitely need to touch that up in there. The rest of it came out pretty good. The rest of it came out pretty good, so I'm happy with that. So I just got to do some touch-up. The nice thing about it is I don't really need to do too much in the way of actual like holding things there, because I can just kind of hold that there like this and go and be done. So the rest of this looks good. I've got to touch this up here and there, which I can do right now. What I'd like to do is, even though it's not super necessary, I like to try and line up the lines as close as I can. And I'll still I don't know. I lost my train of thought. I don't know what I'm saying. Even though I only need to do this, I'm still going to cut this out and trim it. Just because I can. Of course, I'm doing way overkill on my masking here. I don't really need to mask this much, but I just want to. There we go. Get off my finger now. I'm done with you. Go away. That. There we go. Okay. And just for good measure, do that. Okay, where's my super light gray? Touch up this one. And that's all I needed. It's just a little touch up. Just a little touch up. Save these pieces for the other side. Right. I'm going to borrow you. And you. And you. Now it looks like I didn't line that one up. I got it at home. Alright. Okay. This side's ready. So, ouch, poke my eye. Quick little hit of color on there. Done. Now, if I was really feeling picky, I would do this little strip. But right now, I'm not feeling that picky. So I think I'm just going to leave it. Just because it's not super noticeable, and so it looks okay to me. And once I start doing some weathering and washes and stuff like that, it's probably not really going to be noticeable at all. So I already feel better that I've touched up these two strips, and it looks much better. I don't know how it wasn't very visible in the camera, but I could see it, and so I wanted to fix it. So there we go. So that's that. Now we've got to touch these up. Little spots where it's just a little too much overspray. So I got to grab my neutral gray. It looks like I get just a little too much overspray here too. I'm not really super happy about that. But I do want to mask off my light colors. So I want to make sure that I don't get anything on those. So I can just do this to prevent that. I don't think I need to paint over here anywhere. I think I'm good. Yeah, I think I'm all right there. Okay. This looks good, so I don't need to worry about that. I might want to do this just in case. Just to protect that there. Yeah, I think it should be all right. Okay, so I'll switch cameras and I'll show you how I'm going to do this. Switching cameras. All right, so I'm going to take my big main one here. Okay, how does that go? It goes like this. Okay. And all I'm going to do is just kind of hold it like this, and I'm going to hit it with the spray can right there, like that. Okay? So I kind of need to do this. It's going to go there. And I want to hold it up. Okay? So let's do this. I want to hold it off of the thing and just done. Now that might change the way the pattern is a little bit, but that's quite all right. That's perfectly fine. And what's where we get this, what makes this kind of cool is you get to play around with exactly how the pattern looks. It doesn't have to be exactly accurate to the way you originally designed, right? Now this one is where we have a little bit of a challenge, because we want to get in between these two here. Okay? And so really all I'm going to do is I kind of know that as soon as I spray, this is going to want to blow away, right? So let's maybe just hold this down in its spot, like this, okay? And I really don't care if I get overspray or not under it, because what I'm doing is just going to hit this right in that spot there and call it done. Now it's made a bit of a hard line. That's perfectly fine. I don't mind that at all. Okay? Why don't I mind that? Because I can fix that. And I can fix that really easy just by taking this tape, putting it here, and that, no, that's not going to do me any good, is it? Putting it here and helping me lift that up. Okay? Putting this here to make sure, and then we're gonna hit it again. And now it's softened it up just a little bit. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Now we kind of have a little bit of a weird thing going on here, so once again, that. Clean that up a little bit. Clean this one up. Done. Okay, and you can continue doing this as much as you want. However you want, just till you get that tidied up exactly how you like it. And even right now, I can look at this and go, oh well, I got a little bit too much of the light gray. Maybe I need more dark. So I just grab my old template, put it back down on here. And I go, okay, well, I don't want too much, so I'm going to bend these down a little bit. Put them there. I don't want to worry about this right now, so I don't want as much stickies on here. I just want to fix this little thing right there. Okay, so where's my dark gray? Nice, quick and easy, just to reestablish dominance in that spot. That looks better. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now back here I need to go back to that lighter gray, but I do want this part lifted up a little bit. So I want to make sure that this guy's going to stay off the ground. Okay, so he's going right there. Fix this. Got to stay off the ground. Now, which one is which here? This is the gunship, so we don't want to accidentally spray the wrong color. I don't want to accidentally spray over everything. There we go. Okay, let's remove this. There we go. Nice, much better looking now. And now I've got it at a point where I'm actually happy the way it's looking. That's not too bad at all. And so there we go. Back to main camera. That's basically it. there's the technique I use for doing this kind of camouflage on the airplanes. Is it perfect? No. No, it's not perfect. Is it as good as an airbrush? No, it's not as good as an airbrush. But when you don't have one, well, you find other ways, right? That's what you do. And so, that's the way it is. Oh, that reminds me. I don't know what reminded me of it, but somebody just recently commented on my canopy that I completely ruined. Asked me if I had contacted Italeri to see if they would send me a replacement. And, well, the short answer is no. I don't plan on contacting them because it's not that big a deal to me. This is just going to be a model that looks a little bit like a toy instead of a scaled down version of the real plane. And to be honest, I'm okay with that. That's fine. It's not that big of a deal. In fact, as far as the canopy goes, they didn't mold this very good. You've got a nice hard line going along here, and then you got a super soft line on the actual fuselage, and so it doesn't line up nice and crisp. So right off the bat, it doesn't look perfect. And as you can see, I didn't bother masking off the cockpit at all when I sprayed this. So my cockpit is all nice and gray. Because, well, you're not going to see it anyway once I got that on there, right? That's just the way it is. So there you go. That's the painting. I want to check something here. See where we're at. Yeah. So basically, that's just about it. I'm gonna do a panel line wash to get in all those panel lines, and then start doing a little bit of weathering. Now, one thing I've noticed, you watch these planes, you watch them in videos, and these things look like they're brand spanking new and they're perfectly clean and everything, and yeah, they just look fantastic. And then you see some still pictures and they look a little rough. They look like they've got some weathering done to them, and a couple of different panels have been replaced and all that. And so I'm kind of at a loss which way I want to go with that. Do I want to make this thing look old and used, like it's had lots of flights, or do I want to keep it like looking air show quality kind of thing, you know? I haven't really made a decision on that yet. So I definitely I'm going to do the panel lines, do a panel line wash, but yeah, I don't know how dirty I want to make this plane yet. I might just do the panel line wash and then call it a day, right, and say that's done. And yeah, dry overspray on the underneath of the plane. I suppose now with all that painting done, I can remove these. It's just pieces of foam that I cut out, and get ready to put my weapons in there. Yeah. One thing I did notice, the line that goes around that follows down here, there is no panel line to follow, so you just kind of make up your little paint scheme as you want, because that's the way they're supposed to go. Yeah, that was fun. Just kind of, oh well, I guess it's gonna look good going there, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, so that's going to be it for today. And yeah, we'll get to doing the panel lines. I don't know if you guys want to watch me doing the panel lines. It's pretty simple stuff, you know. Oh, here, I'll show you right now. Bing. Panel lines. Panel lines. Panel lines. Fun stuff, right? Yeah, that's how you do panel lines. Anyway, we're going to leave it at that. I want to thank you guys for watching. Thanks for coming out. I see nobody has decided to chat with me this morning, and that is perfectly all right. I don't mind that. Not everybody is chatty, right? And that's kind of the biggest thing I've noticed between modeling streamers and like IRL streamers. People love to chat with them, but the modeling guys, they don't get a lot of their followers and their viewers don't really chat very much, and that's fine. So you just got to be the kind of person that's willing to talk to themselves all the time. Yeah. So anyway, if you're watching this on YouTube, head on over to my Twitch and follow me there, please. That would be greatly appreciated. Smash that like button. You know, follow me. You guys are awesome. Like and subscribe and all that blah blah blah. Check out my links down in the little description box. You can check out my Instagram and check out me on Twitch and all that good stuff. And yeah, so I'm going to call it a day, and that's going to be it. And yeah, so thank you guys again for watching. Thanks for coming out. You guys are great. And so yeah, we're going to call it a day and see if we can do this again maybe tomorrow. And maybe get this guy finished up and move on to the next project. But anyway, we'll catch you guys all on the next one.